terms of sales, oh my gosh, I would say 700%. When we first came out, a lot of people refer to us as the James Bond belt. Top players wear our belts, and they wear it because they love it. We had to shut down in California. We worked 6 months straight, every day, 12, 13-hour days. We don't want to be what everybody's doing, and don't live that lavish lifestyle where it's gonna cut in your business. A shipping company, I'll just won't say it, really messed up. I always tease you about that name because you guys are way more.
To start with, Tom, just the very obvious, right? Maybe an introduction about yourself and how you managed to get around to starting Nexbelt. Is anything in that regard?
All right, I'm Tom Hunsucker. I am one of the co-owners of Nexbelt. It's a family-owned business that includes my sister and her husband, Eddie, and Francis is my sister's name. We've been business partners for about 25 years now. We started out originally starting a boat trailer company about 15 years ago. Take that back, 25 years ago. Yeah, time's flying by. So it's 25 years ago when we started the business. We didn't know anything about building boat trailers. So we started it, and it became the largest custom boat trailer manufacturer in the United States. And we sold it in 2007 or 8, somewhere around there. So we were kind of retired for a few years. And then this opportunity to pop up. My sister and her husband were vacationing in Vietnam. That's where I was born. And he ran into this gentleman selling this belt, this ratchet technology belt. It's popular in Asia, and he brought it back, and there are some flaws to it. And we took it and said, you know what, let's make it better. And we didn't know anything about selling belts either. We knew nothing about doing this. So his specialty, his passion was golfing. So we decided to get in the golfing business side of the business in the beginning. And so we went and created a sales force where we reached out to all of these salesmen who were specialized in going to golf shops and golf stores. And they went and pushed it out onto your brick and mortar stores. That's where we kind of started. And we started working on the website side of it more. So we kind of did a little backwards. We did more of the traditional approach in the beginning. And so we've had to kind of play catch up on the website of the business since then. And we've been doing that for about 10 years now. We have, on the golf side of the business, we have about 40 players on the PGA Tour wearing our belts. We're a small company. We have about 30 employees. But it's kind of cool to compete against the big names in the golfing business, your TaylorMade, your Nike, etc., because we were able to have some of these top players wear our belts, and they wear it because they love it. And we were able to, at the President's Cup, we had the top American players wearing our belts. So that was like a big ego boost for us. And we're having a small company in Southern California competing on the world stage. So, like I said, we've been there for 10 years. We've gone and diversified our brand, not diversified our styles. We've done golf, dress, and we also do a lot of EDC or gun belts for the police officers and people who do concealed carry. So that's been our specialty. My business partner designed a very cool cap that uses the ratchet technology. And now we have a cap that has the same thing. And for us, what made us unique was that we had got the patent on the scaling system, and our approach was all these small shops coming in. We saw a need, and it's kind of the same thing when we started the trailer business. Since we knew nothing about trailers, we came in with our eyes wide open, our ears totally out there to listen and learn. So I saw a need that was all these small shops have very small footprint, and they were taking up a lot of space carrying belts, and they would have to carry they'd carry like only a few designs, but they have to carry 8 sizes for each design. And I remember walking to the store where a customer said, I don't want to buy belts. He pointed to a belt that's been there for 8 years because it was a size 28. And I said, well, this solves your problem. It's one size fits all. And that really got us in the door. And then now we were selling styles instead of sizes. So we know the customers, most people have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 belts, depending on how they wanted, what outfits they wear. So now the customers sit and go, oh, I like this design, I like this design. So it was kind of revolutionary for what we were doing. Plus the ratchet technology. When we first came out, a lot of people referred to us as the James Bond belt because we had the buckle, you flip it down and it has a hidden ball marker. So we're doing a lot of things. And today we have some that has a divot fixer and ball marker. So we do a lot of that innovative designs. And we've gone from emulating what people's done in the beginning. And we looked at it, and this is just how our philosophy in business is that we don't want to be the status quo. We don't want to be what everybody's doing. And we took the design and we made it our own, and we always made improvements on it and different iterations. And right now I think we have the largest ratchet collection of ratchet belts in the world with all the designs we have. And that's just been our philosophy: be creative, be innovative, and don't copy what other people are doing.
Awesome. That's a really cool story, especially significant considering the new Bond movie comes out today.
Yes, I know.
So that being said, something that was extremely intriguing when we looked into the story online was the fact that you were able to transform something which is very, very ubiquitous, like a belt, and create like an entirely new narrative around it, right? So for any new business owners starting out, if you were to give them a bit of advice, like your main ingredients for building a success story out of like an industry that's been around for a long time, what would that be?
Well, I think the biggest thing, I think a lot of people come out, they're starting a new company. I think this is the biggest advice I could give to them is don't have a lifestyle that can't support the business, because you're going to have to go through hurdles. You're going to have to go downtimes. You can't pay yourself. And that's the key part from the very beginning. When we started the trailer business, we borrowed $26,000 from my mom, and we had very little business at the time, but we paid her off at the end of the year. The deal was I was going to pay myself $150 a week. And while my business partner, Eddie, worked full time at his air conditioning job. After the first week, I said, there's no way we're going to go able to make this. I had $8,000 in the bank. I decided to move back home to my dad and said, okay, live rent free. And I just won't take a paycheck. That was March. We worked 6 months straight, every day, 12, 13-hour days. And I finally took another paycheck around late October, because I knew Christmas was coming. So I need to buy presents for people. So my first year, I took $300 in to pay myself. The second year I did way better. I took in $600. But those are the key things that you take the money and you invest back into the company. And that's what you got to do. So when we started this business, the belt business, we're fine. We were well off because we already sold that other company. But we took the same mentality as, hey, look, let's pretend that this is a startup, and we worked ourselves out of the garage again. And then what you got to do is just be mindful and don't live that lavish lifestyle where it's gonna cut in your business. It's gonna make you make decisions in your business based on what that you don't want to do, because it's going to affect your business. If you're having to pay yourself more because you have this lavish lifestyle, you're gonna have to force to raise prices, not be competitive. You make decisions that's going to affect the business in a negative way. So you got to start off that way, doing that.
Wow, that's great advice. So in that regard, right, like speaking of downtimes, etc., I think something that has universally affected business owners across the entire world has been the recent pandemic. So how did your business have to go through difficult times during that phase, and how did you manage to overcome them?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good question. We had that situation where we had to shut down in California. California is one of the first states that did mandated a shutdown. So we had to run a very small crew of basically of family members, and and then we had 1 or 2 employees came in. We had to do social distancing, so we had like 20 employees. We had to only like maybe 3 or 4 were working with social distancing time doing that, and I was working from home. I've never worked so hard in my life actually, because I was working from home, handling other people's jobs, marketing and all that stuff, because we still didn't know where it was going, and still putting together, because we do a lot of assembly here. So I was assembling belts at home, bringing it to work, having shifts out, because people were still ordering stuff from across the nation, albeit it was a lot lower. So for us, we had to kind of just make it work to survive. And then what was fortunate, this is, the luck of it is that we were in 2 businesses that started growing during that time. One was golf, the other one was, with the crisis in the United States, with what's going on with people worried about the rioting, the looting, and the people stand up wanting to say, hey, we have the rights to be treated fairly. Some people started getting scared and started buying more firearms, and that with firearms they need belts. So there's 2 businesses that grew during that time. We were fortunate to be in those businesses, and it grew, and it got to the point where it was helpful, because now we were able to bring back employees once the mandated started changing, and with the loan that the government gave out, we were able to hire more employees. So actually, we were able to hire 5 or 6 more employees to create jobs during that time period. So what we did was just like, again, we were we were always frugal with our money, so we didn't get too stressed out about it, because we knew that we can sit there and ride this out in the long term. So it goes back to what my philosophy has always been. It's like, watch how you spend your money, your lifestyle, and from there we're able to ride that wave where people were needing our products, and bringing back the employees. And the other thing is making sure you have great employees. Um, we have great employees. It's a joy coming to work here every day with these people. So that's another thing, is just make sure you hire great employees that are passionate about, not necessarily your product, passionate about working. And it'll just, whatever they'll ride into your company. It'll make your company better.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Same note, something I heard you say was that you're still a small operation in terms of headcount, right? Like around 30 people. But something that, again, struck us as really, really amazing was the number of channels you were operating in simultaneously, right? Like a bunch of different marketplaces, presence in multiple countries. So with a lean operation like that, how are you effectively managing all these channels? What's the secret behind that?
I think part of that is just having that's technology these days. It comes back to, it's like companies like yours that come in and say, hey, I can solve this problem for you. So having these issues where you can make them more manageable, you have less people having to manage things. So with being on Shopify and having all these apps come in and be able to help you with the shipping, helping you with returns and stuff, just everything that comes in. Technology has changed so much on how you're on the business. Some of it is overwhelming because you have so much comparison data, people just pounding you saying, hey, this will make you better, this will make you better, this will be better. And it's aggregating all the information, making that decision. And I think that's helpful in growing the company. Because there's so much to it, that's the advertising side of it. Because the bottom line is, if you have a great product, it's changed significantly. You have a great product, but if nobody knows about it, it's nobody's going to know about it. So the technology allows you to let people know about it, and it's can be overwhelming because of how much is out there that you can try to do. But it's just that you have to jump in there and start trying testing things out and get your name out there.
Yeah, that's again, I loved hearing that from you. In the side note, though, we are on the cusp of the holiday season, right? And I just like every other business out there, you're setting yourself up for an upsurge of orders and order volumes, things like that, especially with belts being such a popular gifting item, right?
Yeah.
So how do you typically prepare for a big seasonal change in like order volumes, etc.? Are there any specific tips you have for that?
Yeah, a couple of things. We try to make sure we have more employees to handle, to upgrade, to get more, get out there. Last year we did a distribution center for us to help us move products out. Worked great for a while. And then a shipping company, I'll just won't say it, really messed up. And where we were scrambling with 3 to 4 days left of before the Christmas day, and people were saying, I have not received my product, and it's been stuck in somewhere for the last 2 weeks. So what we've done is that we're looking at another company to handle the to help us in fulfillment center. So that's the fulfillment and adding extra bodies to help get things out.
Awesome. Again, when we were doing a bit of research about the brand, a couple of things really stood out, right? One was the amazing amount of love your product got. And second was the amazing experiences that people had dealing with your brand as a whole, right? Like your support team, the response and the attention they got. So what is the secret behind that? How have you managed to create a brand that focuses so much on the customer, even when selling a commodity like a belt?
I think two things. I mean, what started a long time ago when I was like 19 years old, I worked for Nordstrom for a short period of time. And you know how they're very into the service side of the business. And so I kind of adopted that philosophy in the trailer side of the business. And we're adopting the same thing here. We try to treat Nexbelt not as commodity, because it's hard to compete on a commodity standpoint, because you can go on eBay and find something similar. Doesn't mean it's the same, it's just similar, but the quality is not there. Or eBay or Amazon for like $20-$30. And for us, it's like, we go spend the money on our own molds. We do everything from the scratch up. We don't go to a company and say, hey, you know what? I like that buckle you have on there. Just put our name on there. And that's what a lot of companies do. We don't do that. We go spend the time, spend the money, do design, create molds. We have hundreds of molds out there that we create ourselves and that we use. So we don't want to be a commodity. I think that's, if you can have a business where you treat your product and not as a commodity, people will have, as a brand, more of a brand, people will appreciate it more, because there's a reason why they buy it, you know. You're not going to win every customer. And that's the thing. You want to go after a certain customer that believes in quality. They're willing to pay a little bit more for quality and service. So that's for us. It's like, and that's because that's how I want to be treated. You know, if you have a problem, we want to resolve it as quickly as possible. We're not perfect. I think Lexus has never been perfect with their cars, but it's how they treated the customers and resolve issues. And that's kind of our philosophy on that. Because as a customer, I do a lot of shopping, more shopping than my wife, unfortunately, I think. So I know how I'd like to be treated, and I don't want to be spoiled. And I'm not that person. I want to be treated fairly, and that's how we come across. We want to be treated fairly, and we want to give you the respect that you deserve.
Awesome. I really think that's amazing advice for every brand out there, right? Like don't be a commodity. Thank you for that. And I'd say note, one other thing I heard you talk about as we were conversing was that you were a little late in the online game, like more operating in a more traditional fashion. So if we shift gears and maybe talk about how your e-commerce side of things have evolved, right? Like after you did get into e-commerce, what do you think has been the biggest driver of an advantage there in terms of being able to attract customers? Because now I see your website being one of the primary areas of like attracting sales.
I think we were naive. You know, we were old school, and I think there's that generation thing where if I was like 10 years younger, I'd be like, you know what? Hey, web. And especially with my business partner, Eddie, he was like really kind of reluctant at it, thinking, well, how are we gonna get sales from this? And just didn't understand the process. So it was a matter of, hey, there's a market out there for that. We need to kind of focus in on that. So it helped just doing a lot more research, understanding, hiring some companies to come in. We had some agencies come in. It comes back to that philosophy, is like being not so naive. Hey, you have a great product, but you think just throwing on the website is people going to know where it's at? It's like having your address at a house, or a store. If nobody knows that store exists on a street, nobody's going to show up. So that was that, to overcome that and then have an understand that. So we hired some agencies to come in to handle advertising for us, and Bob had also, and to see the growth from that, because people were tracking us down through these golf courses, golf shops, and saying, hey, you know what other designs they have? I'd be interested in seeing that. So that kind of grew it up, and we realized, there's mass potential here. And so from there, we kind of just, okay, let's invest. And so that meant getting some good agencies to come in and getting good apps to make sure things run smoothly, but also those little things like having, one of the biggest thing we've done is like getting Klaviyo for emails. Klaviyo, we did MailChimp and all that, but Klaviyo was a little more robust, and we're able to go and use email and really grow, get sales out of it. Creating a loyalty program has very helpful, because these people are already looking at your product as not a commodity. So they kind of like, you know what, I believe in the product, and if I can go, if they're gonna buy more from you and give them a program to help them out, you're gonna increase sales and get them kept in your corner fighting for you. So it's those apps out there that and it's just kind of the philosophy. You kind of look at your philosophy, how you run your business, and look at the apps that's available to help it, and look at what you can do to grow it. So I was very worried about emails, and here's another advice: don't be afraid about losing customers via emails. I was very scared of doing that. I'd shoot out an email blast, and then you'll have customers unsubscribe, and you look at the numbers, and you come in the morning, you see all these unsubscribes just going through, and you're like, oh, I'm losing so much customers. But the fact is, you have so many more customers out there that are subscribing in. So what we've done is that our emails has gone up in terms of sales. Oh my gosh, I would say 700% easily, because we really utilize that. You really utilize it well, and you'll get customers who'll come to you and say, yeah, just make sure you sell it in a way that it's not bugging them, but it's, you hit on your ideas. Each email is a little bit different point of talk about what makes your product a little more unique, and those things. And sometimes we'll send email blasts not even selling a product, but just talking about something that maybe a fashion idea or something like that. So I think utilized emails is one of the most inexpensive way to grow sales, to have sales, and I highly recommend that.
Awesome. On a similar note, right? Like, any specific advice for businesses, especially who are primarily selling online, as far as the checkout experience and the post-purchase experience is concerned?
Let's see. For us, we give I think having opportunities of different ways of making payments, that's helped. Also, giving them the shortest amount of time to make payments as possible, try to cut that down.
Sure.
But a big advice is making sure it works on mobile. We went from, in the beginning, right now 60% of the people coming to our site is mobile, looking on their small phone. And it's kind of hard for me to track and see how often they look at it, and they go make the sale on the desktop. But the fact is, they're looking at mobile. So you got to make sure your experience, whatever you do, we always, when we go and do the website, we want to make sure we do the test that things are fluid on the mobile, where we're not interrupting the purchasing route there. And we're not perfect. We're always trying to fix it. There's always some glitch that pops up that comes in and fixes that we have to fix. So right now we have pop-ups that are kind of overlapping. We got to go fix that, and but yeah, you have to make sure that you are for the website, think mobile first, because that's where most of your customers are coming from.
Awesome. And any words at all on how lateshipping.com has been able to help you as far as like post-purchase is concerned?
Say that again.
Any words at all on how lateshipping.com has been able to help you as far as post-purchase is concerned?
That's, it's helped us in making sure give confidence to the customers. I always tease you about that name because you guys are way more.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
always tease about that. But yeah, no, it helps confidence. When a customer comes to the website, there's so many things they're looking for, and a confidence in a website, making sure things arrive. Uh, it's very, very, very helpful because it gives them. Um, the last thing you want to do is you buy something and then not wonder where's it at, and
Mhm.
what's going on. And there's just the confidence of seeing that. I think Amazon has really upped the game. That's forced small companies like ours to compete against. And it's like that. Those are the things we need to compete against Amazon.
Awesome. So most of the people who are going to be reading this, listening to this, are primarily going to be fast-growing e-commerce businesses, right? So any final words on what they could be doing right now to emulate your success?
I think try to stay in tune with what the market's going. Know your product. Don't be afraid if you're selling the same product against other people. What you got to do is why is yours unique? I see companies selling stuff out there that, like, well, if they're making good money doing what they're doing, the key is that they're selling in a unique way to make their product stand out. I mean, how many mattress companies out there? That's such a small market, yet there's so many mattress companies, and you can see how they're trying to differentiate and what they offer to make themselves stand apart. And they're all have a piece of the pie, and they're all successful in their small way. And it's how do you make it bigger? So I think don't be afraid if you have something that other people have. It's you have to look at it and say, how do I make it different from what people are selling it, and how do I make it different so the people who looking at it say, you know what, this is a better product.
And thanks so much, Tom. It was a pleasure connecting with you, and especially the lessons on how much differentiation and making a product unique can help brands stand out in a crowded marketplace even. I'm sure every business out there reading or listening to it is going to benefit tremendously from that. Thank you so much for your advice, and we hope you have an amazing holiday season ahead.
I hope I'm looking forward to it. And thanks for Late Shipment for you guys reaching out and showing me the quality of your product that I can utilize, and that's very helpful. So I appreciate you guys reaching out and showing me the light. So appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom.
Be sure to join us alongside over 5,000 leading e-commerce and retail logistics leaders and get insider knowledge delivered to you. Subscribe to our newsletter for more. Want to learn more about lateshipment.com's post-purchase excellence platform? Write to us on sales@lateshipment.com.